Okay, this is lesson 2 for the 8th Mishnah, and I divided it into 4 parts, as you can see by the different colors. We'll start from Tanu Rabbanan, right over here. Tanu Rabbanan. Tanu Rabbanan means that we learned in a brisa, the rabbis taught, or the rabbis learned. And it goes like this. Hanichnas lechanusay shel nagar, shaloi bershus. Well, let's put some words down. There is a chanus. Oops, let's do that again. There is a chanus, means a shop or store, and there's a nagar. Nagar is a carpenter, and shaloi bershus means without permission. But I'll just put down the word bershus, and that's, you should know this by now. Permission. Okay. Vinatza bekas. Natza means it shot out. Natza means it flew out. And bekas is a chip. It's like a wood chip. V'tafcha al panav. V'tafcha is to bang. Banged him on his face. Umeis, and he died. So the halacha is pater. Okay. So let's put down over here. Let's write something death, and we'll write over here without permission. And let's put down, we're going to see soon, there's going to be another case of damages, not death, and we'll have another case of with permission. Okay, now let's make a box, just so we can have a chart over here, and we'll see how this works out. Okay, we did one case so far. So he comes into the shop and he dies. He gets hit by this wood chip. They didn't have permission, and the din is pater. So I'll write inside pater. Change the color. He's pater, and pater means pater from galus. Let's put on over here. Let's write galus. There should have been galus. Galus means exile, where you go to the Arei Miklat. We'll do galus means Arei Miklat, cities of refuge. Okay, case number 2. Vim nichnas bershus. If he went in with permission, then chayiv, he's going to be chayiv. Okay, you have a carpenter. You have a guy. Let's make a little table over here. Let's see. We'll put it right over here. You have a table. You have a carpenter. I'm not going to do this very carefully, but you have this carpenter, and he is sawing some wood, and we'll make like little chips flying all over the place as he's sawing. And we'll put a guy over here laying flat on the floor. Let's do that better. He fell down because the chips hit him. Okay, so the question is, did he have permission to come in? So the first case, he did not have permission, and when he died, this fellow over here, we'll write a name, Nagar. The Nagar doesn't have to go to Gullus. In case number 2, Vim nichnas bershus, then we said that he's chayiv. Now the question is, let's assume that it's going over here. Going to see that's not the case, so hold your horses. The Gemara right away says, "My chayiv." What does it mean chayiv? So Amar Rabbi Yosi bar Chanina. Rabbi Yosi bar Chanina says chayiv b'daled dvarim. Actually, it's not referring to death, so we have to erase. Let's get our eraser. To erase that, and it's actually referring to, you have permission, and it's talking to about daled dvarim. Daled dvarim. Let's put down all the 5 dvarim. So there's really hey dvarim, and we'll put them down. There's 5 types of ways of damages that a person, 5 types of ways that a person should have to pay. One of them is nezek, that's a simple damage. Then there's tsar, that's the pain. Then there's sheves, that's a loss of work. There's ripui, which is doctor bills. Then there's boishas, which is embarrassment. Now, the boishas goes in a category on its own, because you're only chayav on boishas if you do that on purpose. You have to actually intend to embarrass the person. However, you're chayav for these 4. Add a number to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, those are the 5. You're chayav only for those 4. If the person, let's stand him up. We have him standing up over here. He didn't actually fall, but however, he's very badly hurt and there's blood dripping from him. So they has to pay for that nezek tsar sheves ripi, which is the damage, how much he's worth less, how much pain he went through, and how much he would pay not to go through that pain, how much loss of work he has, and also for the doctor bills. Okay, now the next thing is that pater migalus, that he doesn't have to go to galus. So this is really interesting. He doesn't have to go to galus, and he had permission to be in there. So the guy walks in. If he dies, which is this column is death, he's pater from galus. So both cases, whether he has permission, whether he doesn't have, whether there's permission for him to be there, whether there's no permission, there's going to be exemption of galus. And the Gemara says lefi she'ein daima liyar, because it's not similar to a forest. Okay, the original case of galus was when there's someone chopping wood in a forest, and another person was in there, and he gets hurt he dies rather, from this wood chopper. So it goes like this. Yar, by a forest, I want to add a word. So let's see if I can add a word over here. Yar is a forest. Okay, now by a forest, zeller shusay nichnas, v'zeller shusay nichnas. This one is going into his domain, and this one's going into his domain. So let's go like this. So we'll write over here. Make an arrow. Okay, and let's do this. As we work our way up this, there's going to be more responsibility. Okay, so let's put over here a yar is the forest, and this will be the chanos. Okay, so if a person goes in, let's make this sign. If we make those lines, that means chayiv. Okay, I'll put over here the key. That box means equals chayiv. Okay, so if someone gets hurt in a forest, so then there's going to be a chiyuv of galus. There's he's obligated to go to galus. However, if he gets hurt in a store, he's not going to be responsible. And the Gemara explains, because it's not similar. The store is not similar to the forest. By the forest, if we make a picture of a forest, let's make a, there's a lot of trees up here. It's fighting for the light, right? Now let's make some. There's all types of trees. In here we'll put our fellow with his axe. He's chopping wood over here. And we'll put our fellow on the ground. He got hit by a piece of wood, or maybe the axe or something. So in this instance, when both people came in, we'll put some stones. They walked in, and each one came into his own domain. And nevertheless, each one came into his own domain, and so therefore this person is chayiv. However, when the person comes into his friend's property itself, then he would be pater. Okay. And the reason is the logic here. Why does the responsibility go up in the forest and down and when it's his store? Is because in the forest, both people, both this guy over here, who's unfortunately dead, and this guy, who unfortunately killed him, both of them have equal rights to be there. And for that reason, this person who had the rights to be there, you can't tell him he can't be there. It's a forest, and this person killed him. So that makes him more responsible, and therefore he's chayav galus. Because this person has the rights to be there, he was in his property. It was his domain. He was allowed to be there. There's nothing wrong with him being there, and he got killed, doing nothing wrong. So therefore, this person is guilty. On the other hand, by the store, this is this guy's store, and what are you doing there? So the fact that you went in there, you should have been more careful. It is his property. So actually, the location here is what changes it. It's the location that changes it. Location. That's the big deal. The location makes the responsibility. It's in his store. Look, in his store, he's allowed to do what he wants. So that's why we would say that he's going to be pater. That is so far this Gemara. Okay. I want to go further, although I'm going over the normal 10-minute limit, simply because we're going to switch everything, and I don't want to repeat it in the next lesson. So Amar Rava, it's either Rava or Rabba. Rabba says, hold it. Kal v'chaimer. Everyone knows what a kal v'chaimer is, but I'll just spell it out over here. Kal v'chaimer. Kal v'chaimer means that if a weak person, or if one person can pick up 10 pounds, for sure he can pick up 5 pounds, right? That's a kal v'chaimer. It's a type of logic. Fortiori or something in English. Anyway, Rava says kal v'chaimer. No, it's exactly the opposite because of a kal v'chaimer. Uma yar, just like in a forest. Zel daitei nichnas. This one goes in on his own. That was totally on his own that he went there. Vizel daitei nichnas, and this one went in on his own. I want to put in the word daitei that you should remember what this means. Daitei means with his own intention, but in our context it means on his own. He went in on his own. But nevertheless, each one was there on his own. But nasa, the Torah makes it as if we consider it as if his friend knows that he's there, and that we hold this guy responsible for this person who came in totally on his own. He just came in on his own. His friend didn't tell him to come in, but we hold him responsible, and we make him go to Gullus because he was there. V'goyla means Gullus, exile. I'll write it in over here. But zeh, this person, that's the zeh, shaladas chavere nechnas, that his friend gave him permission to be in there. Loi kolshkein, is it not all the more so? Is it not all the more so that if his friend gave him permission to come in? For sure he should take responsibility. So I want to make another little thing over here. And now we're going to do it differently. Now we're going to put chanus up here, and we'll put yar over here. And the responsibility is the same, but the arrow over here is going to be permission. That's what's going to change it. And therefore, because over here he gave him permission, and over here he didn't even give him permission. He didn't tell him to come. But nevertheless, he's responsible. So for sure, if he's responsible by the forest, for sure he should be responsible in the store where he clearly gave him permission. Okay. So you see the two ways of looking at it. One is that the location is that, look, this is not my forest, and I'm still responsible. This is not my forest, and that's why I'm responsible, because I don't have the full rights to this, and I should have been more careful. However, if it's my store, I do have the full rights, so I don't have to be that responsible. That's the first way of looking at it. The second way is, 1 second, you actually gave permission, so therefore your responsibility increases. Okay. Elam Rava, so rather Rava says, my pater mi galus. We said over here pater mi galus. This is our whole discussion. What does it mean pater from galus? It means the leisagi le begalus. The word sagi means enough. I'll write it over here. Sagi means enough. The leisagi, it's not enough for him galus, which means when we give a punishment, it's an atonement. And for this person, galus won't atone him. V'hainu time of the Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina, and that's what Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina said before. Mishum dehavalei, because it is shoygeg karav lemezid. So if we would make a chart, let's see if we have what we can do here. Just make a quick chart, and that will. Sorry, I'm gonna erase a little. This is a Rashi, but this. So if we make a chart, we're gonna have a shoygeg karav le'oinus. We'll have a regular shoygeg. We'll have a shoygeg karav lemezid. Now this one has galus, and this one here is this one here is pater, and this one here is pater. So there's times when it's more of an accident that he's pater, and that's what we thought it would be over here. The reason why he's pater is we thought it was let's make an A, and this is B. Originally we started that he was pater because it's a total accident. Because he came into his store, he doesn't have the rights to be there. The person is not responsible, and therefore there's no gullus. Then we switch it. We say no. The reason why there's no gullus is because he's so guilty that we don't allow him to be atoned by gullus. We'll stop over here.